We have sold several hundred of these already from that little sneak peek. It's $80 off basically, so it's an amazing sale price. And if you ever wanted those really big fancy mixers, well, they can be near $500 and they are big. You almost need to build a garage just to handle the size of the mixer. It takes up a lot of space on your countertop because you don't put them away. They're heavy, they're really heavy. Look how clever this is. Look at this space-saving design that's going to give you, and it's got stickies on the bottom, so it's gonna stay put when you're mixing the doughs, even the toughest stuff. Look at the capacity, and yet look at how much space it saves. Yes, this is our 5-quart 600-watt, and it's a programmable universal mixer. Now look at the clearance price, and once these are gone, that's it, guys. And I do not have a whole lot of these going into the show. In fact, we started out with 900, and then just like my 7-quart pot, when that's gone, that's gone. So here you go. You're getting your dough hooks. And wait till you see the demo. It's super cool how this works. You get your dough hooks included with it. You're also getting this beautiful 5-quart stainless steel bowl. You have the center lid. There's paddles. There's 2 whisks that go with it. You get a bowl scraper with it as well. So you get all of this, including this incredible space-saving but really durable mixer. So, Chef, you really took something and kind of turned it on its head. I'm sure no one has seen a mixer that's that tough, but yet such a great space-saving design.
Can we make it louder so I can hear?
Chef, did you catch that? Why did you create this mixer?
This is the most amazing machine. Look at that. It has 3 functions. It has the bottle, the hook, and it has the mixer. It works on a planetary version. So you have not 1 mixer, but you have 2 actually in that. It's much faster. So here I'm making my chocolate chip cookies. I have the buttercreaming in here. I'm adding the eggs, the sugar, some white sugar and some brown sugar. And then I'm gonna add the chocolate chip and some flour. So it's so easy because you can look it through the top here. See that? All right. And then we're gonna add our chocolate chips here. Now, if you want, you can stop it also. So you just mix it well and then scoop it out. So it's so simple. And you have the controls right here, time, speed, start, stop. Okay, you can put it on the timer and that makes it so easy to work with. Now, look at that, I stop it. All right, I take the cover off. Here I have my cookie sheet, which you still can get, which is non-stick with a silicone pad. And we're just gonna make our cookies from start to finish in no time. See that?
Chef, I know you love homemade bread and you have your bread maker.
Yeah.
How awesome would this be if you want to knead dough?
All right, so now, okay, maybe Gary, you can finish that here, because I have a few other things going on here. Okay, good. All right, here we have our chocolate chip cookies. Now here we have our pizza dough, as you can see with the dough hook in here. So we can speed it up a little bit, put it on speed, and then it flashes. See, you turn it up a little bit. And look, the feet are so strong that it doesn't move. You know, a lot of time you get a mixer, what will happen? The mixer will start to move away from your table. But this is really a perfect machine. Look at the dough, how it's moving here. And in no time, because of the 2 paddles, you're gonna have an amazing pizza dough. See that, how it rolls it together already? All right, let's stop it. Take it off. And look in here. Do we have a little flour? Maybe put a little flour and then take it out. Okay. Okay, look at that. So if you want to make pizza at home or any kind of bread dough, this is the way to go. You cut it into 4 form little balls and you are done. Okay,
I'm just gonna
now
show.
I'm gonna make chocolate mousse.
Okay, Chef, hang on one second, because I want to show everybody, because I think just really get an idea how clever this is. Here's what he's talking about. That was the pizza, and there's he was making the cookies. But you can see how fabulous and unique is this. See the scrapers on the side, bringing it, mixing it all together. Here you've got, obviously, your whippers, and what I love, your whipping tool. What do you know? That's a horrible name for it. No, it is the Whisks. But it does whip, which is great. And see how that just pops in. Now, what's really cool about this is, watch me lift it up. So remember, this is super heavy duty, and yet I can put it away easily. It's not like it's a big unit and I'm gonna leave it out forever. So if you really love doing your baking or doing those doughs, those specialty breads, this is gonna be that gem in anybody's kitchen. Now remember, we have black and we have red. And I wanna know, is Marion ready? Because this is one of Marion's really core aspects of her life. She is a pastry chef, and she's been with Wolfgang for many, many years. And I just wanted to check with her, because Marion, you know mixers, like you know them really, really well.
Oh, and I'm so proud of him, Suzanne, for making a mixer that's like this. Why? Because it's a different way. The motor is on the bottom. Typically, they're up on the big head of the mixer.
Yep.
And the problem there is that that big head of mixer is in your way, right? To get into the bowl and do what you need to do. Wolfgang's is on the bottom. And it's lightweight, but look, it's got suction feet on it. They're so good. Even on a wooden countertop, it's not going anywhere. I love that when it's lightweight and I can see over the top of my work, I don't have to ask help getting this down off of a counter when I want to do any mixing or baking. And let me tell you, baking has what's gotten me through this pandemic. I've been sad. I know so many of us have been that way. And you know, the other day I went to the grocery store. You're wearing the mask. You're having that mask hot flash, you know, where it's all hot under your mask, buying your groceries. I'd singed my favorite wig on the barbecue grill that day. It was just such a bad day. And I came home and I put gingerbread cookies dough in my mixer, and I watched it mix, and I smelled that wonderful smell. And as I'm punching out those cookies, I'm thinking of my precious children and grandchildren. Aww. Because now the way we get through this pandemic is we bake with love, and then we put it in the mail, and they get to open up those boxes. And you know, there's so much joy in that part of it too, Suzanne. Yeah. As parents and grandparents, it's our job to teach our kids and grandkids how to go through this pandemic and still find the humor and the joy. And let me tell you, when your wig gets singed off, and you're doing all this stuff, it's funny, but this is what I love. It has so much power, and with that scraper, it's hands-free. I'm not stuck scraping it like you are. Normally, all the butter and sugar would be all collected around the sides, and the recipe's gonna tell you over and over again to stop and scrape down the sides. Not with Wolfgang. And this is how it's so cool. If I can really quickly show you how these go together. These are the 2 whisks. 2 is way better than 1 because it's twice as efficient, twice as fast. If you want to switch out for the cookie paddles, you just pull them out. It uses the same gear, and they just pop on like this.
So brilliant.
If you want to use it without the scraper, you can, but this is the scraper attachment, and all you're going to do is click it in like this, and then when you want to get it out, it'll click, and then when you want to get it out, up like this, pull the 2 tabs, and it'll drop out.
Oh, it's
the
brilliant.
dough hook has its own built-in, but see, 2 dough hooks. 2 cookie paddles, 2 whisks. It's twice as efficient. And then one more thing real quick. Sure. Because it's digital, the reason that that's so important is because if you don't have a timer built into your mixer, it's really easy to undermix because you get so sick and tired of holding that hand mixer. On the other side of that, if you have a fancy stand mixer that has all that power and you get to just walk away, that's the tendency. You get on your phone, you walk away, and then you tend to overmix. Overmixing is just as bad as undermixing. If you want your results to turn out just right, just give this a try. To be over your work and look at it happen is so exciting to me.
And guys, just another quick update. We have black or red. Which one's the most limited of the 2, Jared, at this point? Because we have about 800 left, and then that's all we have. This is on clearance. It's a very, very popular item. We just have a few for the show, and then we're kind of selling them out and wrapping it up. The red is the most limited of the 2. There's only 200, so the red's probably gonna sell it here in just a second. But again, I love the fact you can take this off. You can store it away. It's really easy. If you've ever had one of those really big, very expensive stand mixers, gosh, you can't even lift the thing. Most people literally leave them on their counter, and yet maybe you only do baking a couple times a year. Maybe you bake a lot. Maybe you just want to make more things like homemade breads are delicious. You've got to have the power, the strength, but you're going to have the ease because of the way this is designed. And I want you to see that front face. That's what Chef was talking about and Marion was talking about. That's the digital controls. Here's your speed, your timer, your start, and your stop, and you can make it go faster or slower. So you get that exact amount of pressure or speed that you need using this. All right, Chef, what are you showing us now?
All right, are you coming back? Okay, finally, I was waiting. I'm making chocolate mousse. Now look, the beautiful meringue I have in here. Where is my guy here? Okay, look at that. So I'm gonna add some melted chocolate. And then I'm gonna add whipped cream to it. So you have the egg whites, whipped cream, and the melted chocolate. If you want, like I add a little booze to it, if you want a little rum or any Tia Maria, whatever you like, or if you're like me, I like a little bourbon in there. Now look how easy it is because it's open on the top, so you can add whatever you want really easily. All right. Okay, let's clear it up. There, a little booze, a little amaretto. All right, not too much so the kids can have it too. And now all we have to do is fill them up. Stop it. Take it out. Lift it up. Okay, look at that. Oh my God. You know what? If you have kids around, all they would do is say, just leave the bowl here. We're going to eat it out of the bowl. Do we get a top one or from up there? Give me a spoon and a little chocolate powder. So you get your glasses. You can make that in advance and fill up some glasses. And that's it. So you have a dessert, which does not cost you a lot of money. Easy to make, egg whites and a little cream and a little chocolate. And you know for how much you have here? For a whole family of 12 for sure. But that won't last long because people like it so much. So, okay, now, if you want, you put powdered sugar on top. You can put chocolate powder on top. You decide how you want to serve it, okay? Now, I will put it in the refrigerator, cool it off. Yeah, put a little raspberry on top, or if you don't have raspberries, put a little powder on top, a little chocolate powder. Okay, let's put it everywhere, all around. Okay, good. Look at that. Maybe another raspberry with a little color here. And here we go. You have a delicious dessert, and it does not cost you a lot of money. And you will eat it. It is so good. Now let's clean this up a little bit here. I made it a little messy, but it's okay. Now, you could see I made the pizza dough here a few minutes ago. And look how perfect the dough is. Give me a little knife, maybe. Oh, here we have it. See, my knives come in handy. Cut the pizza dough in pieces. Oh, look, that's a good dough already. Ow. Okay, good. Put a little thing, a little flour, and we mash it together as a little ball. Okay, let's clean up here. Okay. Look at that. So you can make your pizza, your bread, whatever you make, just like that with the dough hook.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're checking back with Marion too, because she's got another demo she wants to show us. If you want the red, that's the most limited of the two. And this is another one of those products that if you know someone who really loves to bake or they love being in the kitchen, this is something they'll adore. Maybe they've been driving you crazy about getting the $500 big heavy thing that takes up half the counter. This is such a great alternative. And you know what's nice? Maybe you're afraid. You're like, okay, she really wants the big thing, but this is where we're at budget-wise. We think this is gonna save a lot more space and it's gonna be just as good. Get it at home, and that person who loves to bake or cook has until the end of January to really put it through its paces. Try the timer, put the goodies in there, make the breads, make the beautiful mousses, or whatever it is that you want to create. And if they don't love it, they can send it back at the end of January. But this is a game changer simply because it doesn't take up much space, it doesn't take up the room, it's much easier to work with. If you've ever worked with that big thing, it's like and it's hard to get stuff in it. This is so simple because of this brilliant open design. Look at this, literally without even reading the instructions, I figured out how to close it up and how to take it off. And I figured out, how to lift the middle up and change these out. So it's just absolutely intuitive, and you don't have to spend $500 to get one of those great big stand mixers. So Marion, I'd love to go back to you. What are some of the other things you love to do with this?
Oh my gosh, I love so much the way the lid is, because on my other stand mixer, which I'm not bashing at, the big, beautiful red one, it's my showpiece on my counter. But you know what? That's just it. It kind of is a showpiece that just kind of sits there. This is my friend that I go to over and over again. The lid, Suzanne, is brilliant. It's two-piece. So this kind of protects you from a lot of the splatter. If you're doing something like whipped cream, believe me, you want to cover that whole thing up so you don't wear all of that all over your kitchen. But it's just so easy. It just lifts on and off. You don't have to use it to have it. But the genius to me is that scraper that Wolfgang built in. And remember, you've got the digital speed. So you just turn it on here. You can increase or decrease your speed here. And then this is also where you would set your timer right here. But that scraper that Wolfgang built in, there's no more drudgery in a recipe, especially if it's something sticky like brownies or cheesecake, than stopping to scrape that bowl over and over again. Or how many times have you poured that mixture in to the pan and you see that you didn't do a good job scraping it? And there's big lumpy things of butter and stuff in the bottom because you didn't do a good job. Well, that'll never happen here. Notice I don't have any big pink, but this is buttercream frosting, but I don't have any pink stuff stuck to the sides of the wall because it's scraping it all down for me. So I get to just sit here and play, and I'm dreaming of the day where I can make a big batch of buttercream, put it all in colorful decorating bags, and have those grandbabies gathered around where we're making cookies and decorating them. But this is how easy it can be. I love that with that timer, it's precision. You're not going to overmix, but isn't this just a better way to mix? I love my big one, but I love this one too. I think you need both.
Well, and I also think though, Marion, you obviously are a very serious bakery chef and that kind of thing. For the rest of us, we want to do the fun breads and the pizza doughs and all these great recipes. I don't want to invest $500 in a machine that has to stay on my counter all the time. So wouldn't you say this is great for that kind of either wannabe, maybe want to explore baking or different types of bread cooking and things like that? Don't you think this would be a great unit as opposed to the big, very expensive one?
I think that's perfectly said. You know, we have to budget our dollars, but if you know that you have a child, grandchild in your life that's been mesmerized by the baking shows as we go through this pandemic, to encourage them with something like this, you're not breaking the bank. It's Wolfgang Puck, which is such a great name. You know, he loves sweets more than anybody I know on earth. So that's the perfect person I would want to have and get a mixer to give. But imagine if you're the one that's making a budding Wolfgang Puck, that's showing them a way that they can have a mixer where they can watch their work so easily and where the results just turn out so beautifully. I think you said it exactly right. Not too much money, made by a chef who knows exactly what we need to have, especially in the world of baking. Yep. It's just a genius addition. And I think if you gave this as a gift, you'd make some people really, really happy.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And you know, chef, you don't have to spend a fortune to get the kind of power and performance. In fact, I think this is smarter with that double blade spatula. That is a brilliant concept. I'll show it to you. Chef, did you see that? Chef, are you with me? I just want to show you guys what Marion's talking about.
I'm eating tiramisu here. We made some tiramisu and with mascarpone and whipped cream, so it's really amazing. Oh, you know how much I love sweet. This is perfect. So you put the lady fingers on the bottom with coffee, and a little liquor, Tia Maria or whatever, and then mascarpone and whipped cream mixed together with sugar, a little powder sugar on top, or powder chocolate on top, and
Hey, Chef, what do you think's the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to baking?
well, you know, the hardest thing with baking is to make everything fluffy. You want to make whipped cream, make it fluffy. Make your egg whites, make them really fluffy. If you don't have a machine, a lot of people out there try to mix their egg whites in plastic bowls, in glass bowls. It's so difficult. With this machine, you can look at it from the top. It makes it so much easier, you know, because you can see into it. You can lift it up. Plus, it has 2 whisks in there. So it circulates in a planetary motion, which means it goes around by itself, but also around the bowl. And it scrapes the bowl. So once you're going to use that machine, you're never going to use another one again. This is, you're going to say, how come, Wolfgang, it took you so long? And you have the speed, you have the timer. If you put dough in it, you can put the timer on it. You have 5 flex pay. This is really, really an amazing machine.
Yeah.
So I use it at home. My kids use it at home when they make even a little whipped cream or chocolate mousse by themselves. It is special.
And remember, you can use just the spatulas by themselves, just the whisks by themselves, or you can use the dough hooks by themselves. All of this can be used independently, or as you can see here, the brilliance is put together. Because how many of you have to get in there and scrape the bowl down and stop the mixer and scrape again? You don't have to do that anymore. He's taking care of all of it. I think this is absolutely brilliant. And you know darn well, nobody else has anything like this except this specific unit. If you want the red, this is the last chance. We will not have the red after this hour, so if you want the red, this is your last chance to get it. And what happens is the red will sell out, and then all of a sudden everybody will just jump on the black because it's still available. I did want to show everybody one more time another brilliant feature, Chef. This thing ain't gonna move because, listen to that, did you hear that? There are 4, and these babies are awesome. There's 4 knobs that they literally push down just a teeny bit, and that I can literally, look you guys, I am moving my entire demo table just by pushing on the mixer. So if you're doing something really heavy duty, a lot of mixers will start jumping and crash off your countertop. With this, it's going to stay put. Your countertop will fall off before this thing comes off. All right, Marion, what are you doing next? Will you show us?
Love this so much, Suzanne, because with Wolfgang, there's a double dough hook. Hey, it's got a little bit of flour on it, but let me show you. Normally, a dough hook looks kind of like this. It looks like a hook. Well, look what Wolfgang has. There's 2 of them. Can you imagine? And here's that scraper built in. So not only am I not scraping, if your recipe calls for 12 minutes of mixing, it's probably going to be ready after 6. But imagine if you have the dough hooks on your hand mixer and the Christmas bread recipe tells you to mix it for 12 minutes. Are you kidding me? You're standing there. You're like, oh, it has to have been 10 minutes. And you look at your timer and it's been 3. You want to check that email. You want to go do anything but stand there and hold that thing. And then pretty soon it starts to smoke. I think we've all had those hand mixers, but this is just a better way. If you want to make those things, we're all baking bread and we're making things that we've never made before and having such a good time doing it. I think this is the time where you treat yourself and you get this mixer and you see what Wolfgang is all about. Get something different in your life and just have fun, because baking is my comfort. It's how I show my love. And if that's how you are, give it a try. I think you'll love it.
Hey, and Marion, you know, again, you can see the power and you can see the speed. And she made such a good point about the timing, being able to get that exact 12 minutes, not too much, not too little, just to get that perfect fluffiness and the pure and everything thoroughly mixed. By the way, you're going to get the instructions that come with it. You can do things like cookies. I love it. Chocolate chip cookies, gluten-free cheese biscuits. Oh my gosh. If you love making homemade breads or homemade biscuits or homemade donuts, you're going to absolutely adore this. Maybe you've always wanted to do that with the kids and you're like, or the grandkids, and you're like, oh no, I don't have a mixer that's heavy duty enough to be able to pull those things off. This is gonna do it for you. I wanna check back in with Chef one more time. So Chef, again, what is your favorite feature? What do you love most about this mixer?
Well, what I love about it is the power, the 600 watts, which is amazing. And then the versatility, where you can make the fluffiest egg whites or whipped cream or mascarpone cream for a tiramisu, for example. Or you can make your mashed potatoes in there, or you can mix your meat for make meatloaf in there. The versatility of it. So you have three different things. You have the whisk, you have the dough hook, and you have the paddle. So that's what I love. I love to have one machine where you can do a lot of things. If you want to make the fluffiest mashed potatoes, just cook the mashed potatoes in our pot, the one you just saw before, the pasta or potato pot, with a colander, and then throw them in the mixer, a little cream and butter, and it's gonna be perfectly delicious. And on top of it, you get some of my favorite recipes in here, like the sachertorte, like the linzer dough cookies, and so forth. So you will be a baker at home. And if you have the right machine, you don't have to work hard. You just throw the ingredients in, like you saw me with the cookies here. I mean, it's so simple and so easy. I really like to have that machine, and I have it at home. Why? It has everything I will ever need. And it has the stainless steel bowl, so you don't have to worry about it. It has the dual action where the whisk or the paddle turns on itself, and it turns with the machine. So it goes twice as fast, really. So you have the dough hook, the cookie paddles, the wire whisk, and the bowl scraper. Everything in one machine. If you would like to buy that, it would be expensive. And it's a 600-watt motors on 5-speed settings. So you have all this speed, whatever you need.
Okay, Chef, we got to wrap it up. We're going to be back because we're going to take another look at our today's special live with Chef Wolfgang Puck, joining us from out in Hollywood, California. And we've got his favorite mixing bowls coming up that are always a huge success. So we'll see those in just a moment. But first, HSN Cares here at HSN is dedicated to empowering women and children and helping families in times of need.